Hello my friends, in today's video we will be comparing GoPro Hero 10 Black, Insta360 One RS and DJI Action 2. All three devices represent a very different action camera concepts. In this video we will compare these three concepts, I will try to explain the differences between them and hopefully help you decide which action camera is the best choice for you. First of all, I greatly appreciate that all three major action camera companies came up with unique devices, which means that the customers have a lot to choose from. The first big difference is the construction. Hero 10 is a classic action camera. It has a water-resistant square body with a lens on the front side and screens on both sides. One RS is a modular system that always consists of three parts: the core, battery base and camera mod. DJI Action 2 consists of two parts: the main module, which can work by itself, and the display module or the battery module. An advantage of the classic GoPro approach is that it is simpler and much more durable because it is just one solid piece. Classic design also allows it to have a much larger screen on the backside and second screen on the front side. An advantage of One RS is that you can use those two special modes, the 1-inch mode and 360 mode. Modular design also allows you to interchange the components such as the battery module or camera mods from the original One R. The Action 2 is shockingly small, which makes it ideal for wearable use and mounting. The display module features the second display, SD card slot and USB-C port. That allows you to choose between extremely compact size and full feature set with two displays simply by attaching or detaching the secondary module. The build quality is the best with the Action 2. It is fully metal and very well machined. It feels super solid, but it might actually be too nice for reckless use. GoPro Hero 10 is definitely well made and the most durable out of these three. It has a partially rubberized surface and I wouldn't hesitate at all to use it in difficult conditions. The One RS may be slightly less durable without a housing, but it is probably as solid as it can be with a modular construction. All three parts fit together very well, so I can't really complain in this regard. GoPro Hero 10 and DJI Action 2 are water resistant up to 10 meters. One RS is water resistant up to 5 meters, but you have to use the included housing. Waterproof housings are available for all three devices. Hero 10 has integrated finger mount, Action 2 uses magnetic attachment with safety latches and finger mount connection. One RS needs to use supplied housing or boosted battery base, both of which have a finger mount. Another significant difference is the type of footage that you can get out of these cameras. DJI Action 2 uses the widest angle of all three cameras at about 12.7mm full frame equivalent. This is a very wide and immersive angle. Most of the time I use the standard mode on the Action 2, which is linear. A huge strength of the Action 2 is basically perfect dewarping, which means that you will get straight lines even on the edges of the frame. Hero 10 can also do it, but with a significant crop. GoPro Hero 10 uses 16mm equivalent focal length in the base mode, which is wide. This field of view is very suitable for all-round use. It is a bit less dramatic than the Action 2, but probably more versatile. You can use different virtual lenses on the Hero 2, but that is a digital zoom. With One R, it depends on the mod. My favorite 1-inch mod uses 14.4mm lens, which is basically between the Action 2 and Hero 10. 4K boost mode uses 16mm lens, so it is basically the same as with the Hero 10. As the name suggests, 360 mode shoots 360 degrees video. The biggest benefit of 360 video is so-called overcapture, which means that the camera is capturing everything at the same time. Then you can choose the framing in Insta360 Studio app, which is great. 5.7K 360 video looks decent. It obviously can't look as good as the video shot with other mods, but it makes up for that by offering the overcapture. 360 video from One RS is very similar to One X2, so you can take a look at my review of the X2 to find out more about that. This option is a major advantage of the One RS and probably one of the main reasons to get one. We can also see three different approaches when it comes to the sensor. Hero 10 uses the smallest 1/2.3-inch sensor with 20 megapixel resolution. One RS with 4K boost mode uses 1/2-inch 48 megapixel sensor. The Action 2 uses a larger 1/1.7-inch sensor with 12 megapixel resolution. The sensor in the 1-inch mode is an actual 1-inch type 20 megapixel sensor. It is about 4 times larger than the sensor in Hero 10. So what does that mean in terms of the image quality? First of all, I can say that all three cameras shoot very nice action camera footage. I think that the vast majority of users will be happy with the image quality regardless of which one they choose. In terms of the detail, it is very similar between Hero 10, Action 2 and One RS 1-inch mode. Hero 10 has the smallest sensor, but it shoots 5.3K video, which captures a very solid amount of detail. The Action 2 has larger sensor, lower resolution, and it only shoots 4K, but the video processing and the sharpness of the lens are great, so the amount of detail is very good. One RS with 1-inch mode shoots the most detailed video. It has that large sensor and it can shoot 5.3K, which results in a very nice footage. This level of detail is actually pretty close to some crop sensor interchangeable lens cameras. A disadvantage of 1-inch mode is the minimum focus distance, which is realistically about half a meter, so it is not suitable for vlogging or close-up objects. The footage shot with 4K boost mode is fairly detailed, but some artifacts are visible. It uses a high-resolution sensor, which means that the video processing is rather difficult. I still wouldn't say that it is bad, but you might notice those artifacts in high bitrate scenes. On the other hand, the zooming is by far the best with One RS 4K boost mode because it uses that resolution to provide real 4K even with zoom. Some amount of zoom is also usable with Hero 10. With Action 2 you can also zoom, but the image quality starts to decrease immediately. The colors are actually fairly close with all three devices. There are some differences in color reproduction depending on the specific scene, but all are fairly accurate. The One RS is a huge improvement over the original One R in terms of the colors. The colors from the One RS are very similar to the GoPro, which is definitely not a bad thing. The low-light performance is the best with One RS 1-inch mode, followed by DJI Action 2, One RS 4K boost mode and GoPro Hero 10. The Action 2 and the Hero 10 can shoot 4K up to 120p, which is great, because it means that you don't have to upscale slow-mo footage. Unfortunately, One RS can only shoot 4K up to 60p, which is a disadvantage. All three can shoot stills of course, and all three support RAW capture. Generally you can get a very nice ultra-wide stills with all three cameras. If the stills are important for you, you will find more information in detailed reviews of all three cameras linked in the description. Much like with the image quality, the stabilization is also very similar. I would say that it is a draw. I can't really say that any of them is better or worse than the other two. These are basically the three best action cameras on the market in terms of the stabilization. Static shots look like on a tripod, smaller vibrations in situations such as driving are completely eliminated, and even walking looks great. All three cameras have different stabilization settings, which offer similar options to trade crop for higher stabilization efficiency. A significant improvement over older action cameras is the stabilization performance in the low light. All three cameras can manage just fine in dusk situations, and they will only lose efficiency in very low light conditions. A unique feature of One RS is that you can apply the stabilization in post using Insta360 Studio app. Another unique feature of the One RS is that you can change the field of view this way after the footage was shot, which is rather convenient. Unfortunately, one significant negative of the in-camera stabilization of the One RS is the on-screen lag. That is noticeable, and it gets worse if you set the in-camera stabilization too high. If you use post-stabilization, there is no lag at all. Hero 10 and Action 2 don't have any issues with lag at all. Regarding the screens, we have three very different approaches here. Hero 10 uses a fairly large 2.27-inch display on the backside and 1.4-inch screen on the front side. Both screens are very good, detailed and bright enough, so they are great for both composing and judging the exposure. Action 2 uses a 1.76-inch OLED screen. It is smaller than on the GoPro, but the resolution is 350 ppi, so it is super clear and in reality just as usable as the GoPro screen. The contrast is also great since it is an OLED. Visibility of the shadows on the screen was fixed by firmware update, so the use in direct sunlight is no longer an issue. If you go for the dual screen combo, you will get the same screen for the front unit. The display on One RS is a compromise necessary to achieve the modular design. It is a 1.03-inch display, which is useful for basic composing of the shots, but that is about it. Fortunately, it can be reversed, which means that you will be able to see yourself, but it is a lot less convenient than having a display on both sides. The user interface on the Hero 10 is probably the easiest to use thanks to the real estate on the screen. It has useful shortcuts, text in the main menu and so on, so it is the easiest to use in my opinion. The Action 2 has an edge over the One RS in terms of the user interface. It has a larger screen, so the items are also larger and a little bit better organized. It uses swipe gestures and it is pretty easy to navigate, so I'm generally happy with the Action 2 user interface. One RS menu is probably as good as it can be at that screen size. It is very logically organized for the most part, but some specific items such as sharpness setting, which is very important, is a little bit hidden. Other than that, I can't complain. Regarding the smartphone app, all three will get the job done with one exception. That is the fact that with the GoPro Hero 10 you will lose video feed after you start the recording, which can be limiting for some types of use. I probably like the DJI approach the most because it primarily integrates the settings into a horizontal full screen view. Insta360 app is generally very good. My only complaint is that it is not possible to get a full screen horizontal live view feed. On the other hand, the video editing portion of the app is the best among the three. Regarding the battery life, with the GoPro you can get about 80 minutes of 4K 20p recording. With Action 2 you can get about 120 minutes with a secondary module attached. One RS can last about 75 minutes of continuous recording, which is a very good value. A huge advantage of One R and One RS system is that you can use a larger boosted battery base with 2380 mAh, which will last about twice as long. Regarding the overheating, I can say that I was able to get basically unlimited 4K 20p recording at about 23 degrees Celsius with all three devices. All three will get hot when you shoot 4K 60p pretty quickly. Hero 10 and One RS are still usable for longer 4K 60p clips. Unfortunately, the Action 2 will stop recording after about 8 minutes of 4K 60p, despite that it was not the hottest device in my testing. This should be solved by a cover which will be included with every new Action 2. I will test it out in my Action 2 accessories video, which will be available soon. Before we get to the conclusion, I can say that all three devices are very good executions of their respective concepts. Rather than focusing on details such as minor differences in the image quality, I would recommend choosing the overall concept or type of the action camera that is the most suitable for you. So which one should you get? GoPro Hero 10 is a classic action camera which provides very solid output, is easy to use, durable and fairly versatile. It is a great choice for all-round use, point-and-shoot holiday type of use, as well as mounted use. Insta360 One RS probably offers the widest spectrum of creative options. It is a great choice for those who are interested in 360 video in addition to normal action camera usage. One RS with 1-inch mod provides the best output of all action cameras, so it is very suitable for advanced users. You just need to be aware of the on-screen lag when you use in-camera stabilization and artifacts with the 4K boost mod. The version with the 4K boost mod is also the cheapest among these options. DJI Action 2 is a great choice for those who can appreciate its extremely small size. It is highly suitable for wearable and mounted use with a secondary module, and it can be transferred into a fully featured action camera by attaching the secondary module. Full reviews of all three devices will be linked in the description, so you are very welcome to check those out for more information. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching, I hope that you liked this video and that you have found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.